MMAWeekly.com, Damon Martin here with Jim Miller. Jim, going into this fight, a lot of people have mentioned this, title shot, other stuff, but this is your 8th win in a row you're going for, which is, I think, only been done 2 other times in the UFC's history. Pretty cool moment if that happens. I mean, have you thought about that?
Somebody had mentioned that, and it is an accomplishment, but it's small potatoes to me. It really doesn't matter. I think if I fight at my capabilities, then nobody should be surviving the fight with me. And that's my goal, is to not only beat the best in the world, but to finish him and really dominate him. So that's always what I'm gunning for. It's just a streak, and streaks always seem to come to an end. At some point. So somebody's going to have my number one of these days. And that's just the way that it is. I'm just training so that it doesn't happen anytime soon.
You were one of more than just yourself, but there were quite a few guys when the WC guys were coming to the UFC, when they were going to get a title shot originally. There were some kind of angry lightweights, I felt like, in the UFC. Now, it didn't end up happening, but now that you've seen some of these guys, and Ben Henderson in particular, how do you think they performed thus far?
They have performed well. My whole thing was that I didn't think that Anthony had earned the right to move ahead of the guys in the UFC. So it was a little bit annoying, but being a contender. But it's the way that it goes. It's a business, and they're they were unifying the belts, so that's just the way that it is.
When you look at Ben Henderson, his background is wrestling, which is similar to yours. But when you look at his last couple of fights, Anthony Pettis, he did struggle at points to get Anthony to the ground. Mark Bocek, of course, phenomenal jiu-jitsu guy again, struggled at moments with that. You're a wrestler in your own right. I mean, do you think that you have a lot of advantages, especially in the ground part of this fight, just because of your wrestling background, where you match up with Ben?
I do think I have advantages. I think I'm going to be able to outstrike him, and when it hits the mat, I have more tools. He's talented on the ground, but he's more of a wrestler with a couple subs. I focused on becoming a legitimate BJJ black belt. I have a lot of tools and a lot of tricks that you guys haven't seen yet. So if the opportunity arises, hopefully you'll see something pretty cool.
Ben is a great fighter, but I know I mentioned this in our radio interview as well. He has a tendency to put himself in really bad positions. You look at the fight with Jamie Varner, he was losing that fight up to the point when he snatched that guillotine. I mean, he's a gamer, he's always in there, but he does tend to, have some moments like that. I mean, do you look at that and see this is an area you could definitely take advantage of?
Yeah. It's only a matter of time, before somebody capitalizes on that, on him putting himself into bad spots, and I plan on capitalizing. It's like being known to take a punch. That means you're getting hit, and nobody wants to get hit. So he does a good job of getting out of the spots and using it to maybe further his position and get better position. But yeah, if I isolate something, I plan on taking it home.
On the flip side of that, do you always have to be a little bit wary and cautious at guys like that, though? Just like with the Varner fight, he's down maybe 3 rounds, I think, at that point, but he still snatches a guillotine and gets the win. I mean, do you have to always be careful with a guy like Ben, who can, continue to fight to the last second of the last round?
You gotta be smart. You can't do anything silly in there. I fought a lot of guys that had that capability. There are a lot of tough guys out there that you give them one little opportunity, you make one little mistake, and they can snatch victory away from you. The thing with this sport that makes it so exciting for me, and I think that people kind of forget, is that you're not winning. You're never winning in mixed martial arts. You can win or you can lose, but if you're beating somebody up, landing punches on their face, and you're not stopping them with them, they're obviously not hard enough. So if they come out and they sub you out off of a mistake, there was never I was winning until I got caught. I lost. So I always think that, I've always got that on my mind, that anybody can, you can finish a fight at any time. It's the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, down by 3, coming up the bat type thing, where you can hit that grand slam in MMA, and I'm always looking for it if I'm down, or I expect other guys to be doing it too.
Last question. You've always been a very busy, very active fighter. You don't like sitting on the sidelines. But the very simple question, it comes up constantly with you. You win this fight, Dana White walks up to you and says, Jim, you get the next title shot. Are you willing to wait at that point, to wait for another, just because the fight's coming up in October, are you willing to wait at this point?
Yeah, if I'm told that I'm getting the next shot, then I'm waiting for it. I'll wait till 6 months, whatever it ends up being. Yeah, I got no problem with that. It's just that, I'm not going to sit around and wait, a year, so I'd rather go out and fight the guys that I feel I should be able to beat if I'm capable of being the best in the world. So might as well stay active and do what I love to do, and that's fight.
Thanks for